Today, we step into a moment of profound awareness, a moment where the illusion of separation begins to dissolve and the deeper truth of who you are quietly reveals itself. Quantum Majesty is not about power over others, but mastery of self, mastery of energy, and alignment with the infinite intelligence that governs all things. At the quantum level, nothing is truly solid, nothing is fixed, and nothing is impossible. Everything is vibration, frequency, and intention responding to consciousness. You are not here by accident. Your thoughts, emotions, and inner state are constantly shaping the reality you experience, even when you are not aware of it. Science now confirms what ancient wisdom has always known. The observer influences the outcome. When you shift your awareness, reality responds. When you change the way you perceive yourself, the world reorganizes itself around that new perception. Many people feel powerless because they have been conditioned to look outward for validation, permission, and truth. But true majesty emerges when you turn inward and recognize that your consciousness is the gateway. The quantum field does not respond to words alone. It responds to coherence between thought, feeling, and belief. When your inner world becomes calm, focused, and intentional, you begin to collapse timelines that once seemed unreachable. Right now, you may be standing at the edge of transformation without realizing it. Discomfort, confusion, and uncertainty are often signs that an old frequency is breaking apart. This is not punishment, it is preparation. The universe removes what no longer matches your next level before it delivers what does. Trust this process. Trust that delays are not denials and silence is not absence. Quantum Majesty is remembering that you are both the question and the answer. You are the seeker and the source. When you act from fear, the field reflects limitation. When you act from clarity and inner authority, the field responds with precision. This is why stillness is power. This is why presence is wealth. This is why intention, when aligned, moves faster than effort. Today, choose awareness over reaction. Choose alignment over resistance. Choose to see yourself not as someone trying to survive the world, but as consciousness learning to shape it. You do not need to force outcomes. You need to become the version of yourself that naturally attracts them. When your frequency changes, your reality must follow. Remain grounded, remain observant, remain sovereign. The quantum field is always listening, always responding, and always reflecting who you believe yourself to be. Step into that knowing and let your majesty unfold naturally, effortlessly, and precisely as it was always meant to. Today, allow yourself to slow down, not because you are falling behind, but because your soul is asking for space. In a world that constantly pushes speed, urgency, and noise, choosing stillness is an act of sovereignty. Quantum Majesty begins in this moment, when you stop chasing meaning and instead let meaning rise to meet you. You are not here to rush your awakening. You are here to remember it. At the quantum level, reality is not fixed. It is fluid, responsive, and deeply intimate with consciousness. Everything you see, everything you touch, everything you experience is shaped by invisible fields of energy responding to observation, belief, and emotional coherence. This means your inner world is not separate from the outer world. It never was. The division you were taught to believe in was only a training program, a temporary veil designed to help consciousness experience itself from within form. You are not merely a body moving through time. You are awareness moving through dimensions of perception. Time itself bends around consciousness, expanding and contracting based on attention. When you are present, time softens. When you are anxious, time fragments. When you are aligned, time becomes irrelevant. This is why moments of deep clarity feel timeless. You are briefly stepping outside linear experience and touching the quantum field directly. Many people sense that something fundamental is changing in their lives, yet they cannot explain it. Old desires no longer satisfy. Old fears no longer motivate. Old identities begin to dissolve. This is not confusion. This is recalibration. When consciousness upgrades, the nervous system needs time to adjust. What feels like emptiness is often spaciousness. What feels like loss is often liberation in disguise. Quantum majesty is not about becoming more than others. It is about becoming more than your previous limitations. It is the quiet confidence that comes from inner alignment rather than external approval. When you stop outsourcing your worth to systems, titles, and opinions, something powerful awakens. You begin to move differently, you speak differently, you listen differently. The field responds not to force, but to clarity. You may have noticed that when you try too hard, things resist. But when you let go with trust, solutions appear unexpectedly. This is not coincidence. This is resonance. The quantum field does not reward effort. It rewards coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are aligned, reality reorganizes itself with minimal friction. This is why surrender is not weakness. It is advanced intelligence. The mind was never meant to control reality. It was meant to interpret it. Control comes from fear. Observation comes from mastery. When you observe your thoughts without identifying with them, you step into a higher vantage point. From here, patterns become visible. Reactions lose their grip. Choices expand. This is where true freedom begins. Right now, take a gentle breath, not to change anything, but simply to notice. Notice how breath happens without instruction. Notice how awareness does not need effort. This is your natural state. The more you return to it, the less you are pulled into artificial urgency. You begin to sense guidance, not as loud commands, but as subtle knowing. The universe does not shout. It whispers through intuition, timing, and synchronicity. When you are disconnected from yourself, these whispers sound like noise. When you are aligned, they become unmistakable. Doors open without struggle. Conversations arrive at the perfect moment. Insights surface exactly when they are needed. This is not magic. This is alignment in motion. Many are conditioned to believe they must heal before they can create, but creation itself is healing. When you choose presence over resistance, you restore coherence to the system. Trauma is not stored because you are broken. It is stored because awareness was interrupted. When awareness returns with compassion, the system reorganizes naturally. Quantum Majesty invites you to release the story that you are behind, incomplete or unworthy. These narratives were installed, not inherent. You were born whole. You were born connected. You were born powerful beyond language. The forgetting was part of the experience, but remembrance is the destination. As you listen, your subconscious is not being forced or programmed. It is being reminded. Truth does not need persuasion. It only needs space. When the mind relaxes, the deeper intelligence within you rises effortlessly. This intelligence knows when to act and when to wait. It knows what to release and what to protect. It does not panic. It does not rush. It trusts timing because it understands cycles. You are part of a living system that is constantly self-correcting. What appears as chaos is often reorganization at a level the mind cannot yet map. When structures collapse, it is because they can no longer support the frequency emerging through them. You are not meant to cling to old forms while expanding into new states of being. Flexibility is intelligence. Rigidity is fear trying to feel safe. There is a version of you already living in alignment with ease, clarity, and inner authority. This version is not in the future. It exists now as a potential frequency.